Peace and blessings, family. Yeah, this is just like spontaneous. Spontaneous. My king came in the kitchen. He said, "You want to go live?" I was like, "Yeah." And then we just figured out a topic, which is scathing. In my guesstimation, my estimation, my firm conclusion, it's going to be so much fun. So I'm going to just kind of, chat just a little bit so that folks can find us because this is so impromptu, but I don't care. It's just the internet. We just got to put stuff out as we feel it. We're real people. We are not these oh goodness, and I don't want to shade anybody for picking a profession of being a reporter. That's a wonderful thing. We need reporters out there without a doubt. But what is approved of by Western civilization is what is going to be just non-consequential to their hegemony and to their just woo. They're destroying the planet. What can you say? Words become so outside the realm of the reality that we're facing with these folks who just, how can you do something like that? So all the stuff that's going on right now is incredible. It's all meant as a massive distraction, but a distraction according to their plans in order to accomplish their goals, which when you say distraction, it can give you a sense of, oh, it's inconsequential. No, it's literally meant to turn the entire world into cattle. They have a word for it that I'm sure is one of the banned words, given that we're going to be talking about China and Apple and Elon Musk and all those things, how they ban such ridiculous words that you can't even say the word freedom, can't say the word bridge in China. But here in the unentitled snakes of America and all of the West, which likes to pretend we're so shocked by what's going on in China, they ban Pizzagate. You can't say Pizzagate. Oh my God, really? Right? Now, I think you can say COVID again, but there's only so much that you can reveal about it. So when I look at what's going on in China, I just know that the West is actually looking at China as if it's a success. So I don't want to keep on going too much without my king because I'll just like divulge all of my sentiments. And he has such a vast knowledge about the history of communism and, also just like we were even talking about Elon Musk, all of that's going on. So my apologies for rolling in without announcing this prior, but it is what it is. So are you coming on in, King? That's good. That's good.
I'm coming.
All right. I'm going to put this.
Peace. Peace. What's the subject matter that we can be misinformed the populace about?
Oh, let me put the thumbnail up there and share
If we're gonna
that.
misinform people, I want to know exactly what I'm misinforming you about.
Oh, goody. Oh, goody. Let's see now. Share screen. There we go. Share. And I'll get the thumbnail right there. Hide that little annoying thing and expand it a bunch.
The oppressor apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. Was that a peach over there on the side next to it?
No, that's not a peach.
It's a squished apple.
No, well,
squished apples.
I think it's a gala apple. It's just that the way that I had to spread it out, zoom it in to fit the
proportions.
Yeah. Got squished a little bit.
Oh, excuse me. So what's going on in China now?
Oh my goodness gracious. It's going according to what I assess was an opening salvo. They send out little global messages that this is the next step in the script. And on November, which was the 11th month of the year, so on 11/11/2022, a train exploded and it was on track 11. And then 3 days after that, there was suddenly riots going on in the streets in understandable conflict and going against the protracted lockdowns. There's some cities that have been locked down for 100 days or more. And the protests got started because I think it was exactly 2 days after the explosion on the train, there was a fire in Shenzhen. I'm not sure. I do believe that's exactly the city where it was. And that's a Uyghur city. And the Uyghurs, they can't stand the Uyghurs, which are a Muslim group. There was a fire that on the books, they say it killed 10 people, but residents insist that it killed about 40 people, including children. And they say, why? Because they had set up barricades all around the place and people's apartment doors were wired shut so that they couldn't get out, and they burned to death. And they also suffered lack of oxygen and smoke inhalation inside the towering just inferno of it. It was a high-rise apartment building. And the fire trucks couldn't even get close enough because of all the barricades that were up there. So nationwide, not just Uyghurs, but regular common Chinese citizens who ordinarily would hate the Uyghurs are rioting, especially students. But what is absolutely fascinating is how much of a participant Apple, through their factory called Foxconn, I think it's located in Shanghai, but don't quote me on that one, had severe issues at their factory where they were holding people in and they were all locked down. So they had supposedly healthy people with the one or two infected people. I say that highly sarcastically. And they wanted the workers wanted to leave because they weren't getting paid. They were promised bonuses that never happened. And so they started just leaving, climbing over the barricades, climbing over the fence. And a lot of them had to walk like 100 miles because they came from the rural districts in order to get home. And this also became a viral, and it's hard in China for things to go viral. Literally, people have about 10 minutes before the Chinese, the CCP comes in and shuts it all down, shuts everything down. So I don't have any pictures prepared. I highly recommend the 2 channels that I get this information from, Spotlight on China and China Revealed, so people can confirm what I'm talking about. Because and they hide. Oh my goodness, does YouTube. This is how I know everybody's colluding, because YouTube, when I first started looking at these channels, I still had my main channel. And I noticed that whenever I would open them up, that there would be an interruption. No other channels would this happen to, but suddenly I couldn't watch the share or the video. And then shortly after that, my channel was taken down, especially after I started talking about how the press, the United States press and the world press, were depicting China as having forgiven loans in Africa, which was a lie. Nothing of the sort was the case. And then suddenly my channels went down. But I wonder if it was the Chinese, who they have a heavy arm in all of the West. I thought there were just police stations in Africa. No, they have Chinese police stations all over the world. And they own so many social media platforms, especially TikTok. They outright TikTok, own. Yeah. So there's so much going on that's deeper. And we need to pay attention to these things, because these dudes, as I began saying, they want chaos. They want madness, and for them to, they're making it seem like they're supporting the student protesters, but I look at that and I know they want to give an atmosphere.
Color revolution.
Yes, they want very much for everybody, when we need to just separate. We need to not get in the middle of white people and all of their barbaric tendencies. And so they really want to encourage an atmosphere, global, like, this is what you do. You get out there. When Tiananmen Square, I didn't know 10,000 Chinese students were slaughtered. I thought it was just, 50.
That one guy in front of the tank.
Yeah, one guy in front of the tank. No, they slaughtered 10,000. And then during Mao Zedong, I always say his name incorrectly, but they killed like 42 million Chinese people, starved them to death.
When they redid the farming system.
Yes. So these people, they are no freaking joke. They're no joke. And the West, I can see, is 100% supporting.
It's funny when you look at Mao, there was the Cultural Revolution was when the youth started going around. It's almost like the Cultural Revolution is very similar. It's similar to what they're doing with Black Lives Matter and Antifa and things like that. They're going, because during the Cultural Revolution, Mao raised up a whole cadre of youth to go around the cities and revitalize the spirit of the revolution. All right. So they were going around attacking the adults, you know what I'm saying? Destroying people. They were beating people in the streets. I mean,
wow.
Yeah, it was quiet. You gotta look at the Cultural Revolution. It was a crazy time.
Yeah.
But it was a way to maintain power. You know what I'm saying? Because he felt like all the old people were getting wise to my game. So I need some young people out here that's going to enforce, my ideology. Right. And before the Cultural Revolution, there was that great die off, because that's when they were making everybody. Mao did something crazy, like everybody's going to make steel or something like that. And they made everybody in the farm start turning their homes into like these smelting areas where they were making this inferior steel, like it was crap.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? But they had changed their whole economy to do these things, because maybe Mao knew what nobody else knew. That we getting ready to have to make all this stuff for across the world. So I want you ready, because we're going to be making this stuff. People are going to be coming here for all their goods and services to be made. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So what happened in 1972 was Nixon went over to China and opened up the wall, tore down the wall. So that was the beginning of the destruction of your jobs. That was the beginning of the destruction of the American industry. That was the cue.
Right.
Like, we gonna go to China and make a deal, because they got plenty of manpower, and these cats work cheap. You ain't got to worry about unions no more. You ain't got to worry about cost of living increases no more. You ain't got to worry about paying all these pensions no more, because we can just take all these factories and go to Europe, go to China, and build everything. All right. Because before that, remember that look for the union label and all that stuff.
I remember that commercial.
But that came that's because they realized that they was losing their businesses. The union was losing jobs.
Right.
All right. You didn't have that commercial in the 60s. They had to come in the 70s and the 80s, because they were killing union labor. They were killing industry. All right.
Right.
They were destroying the districts. These were factory cities. Gary, Indiana, Newark, New Jersey, New York City. These were factory cities.
Right.
All right. There were factories all over the place in the 30s and the 40s, 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s.
Wow.
There were factories in these places. In fact, I think Gary, Indiana was known for steel. I think they were making steel.
Right. And the one where
Pittsburgh is a steel place.
Right.
But they ain't doing that no more, because all that stuff moved to China. All those good paying union jobs with their pensions moved to China. All right. So at that same time, they were moving this industry to China. They were feeding the United States, the people of the United States, the citizens of the people of the United States, into this mythology of credit cards, Know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because you ain't gonna make no more money, but we're gonna give you some credit.
Right.
So you can look like you're doing better, even though
Mm-hmm.
your cost, though your actual wages are actually started turning down. All right, because the actual wages that the American people make is lower now than it was in 1972, as far as actual buying power, because they started extending you credit. Remember when nobody even had a credit card when I was growing up.
Yeah, no,
In the
no,
80s and
you're
90s,
right.
even the
Who
80s,
had a credit card?
80s, 70s, 80s, nobody had a credit card.
Uh-huh.
All right.
They had to also make those books that were like, get rich or be rich, or living off of
rich
credit.
dad, poor dad.
Yeah. I remember my dad had one of those.
Because the whole fight, because they were moving into fire. It's the fire industry, finance, insurance, and real estate. They were changing the economy. They were going from a production economy, which means producing goods, cars, steel, oil. Instead of producing all this stuff, we're moving into finance economy.
A service economy.
Service economy. Yeah, well, that's the service economy what you have now, because there's no industry. So it's all about services.
Right.
All right. When you're not producing anything, all you can do is serve a cup of tea, sir, a cup of coffee.
Well, what about the computers, though?
What about them?
Well, because I hear there's a big fight between China because they're like 3 years behind in technology and in producing these chips.
The microchips, the microconductors used for all these cars and stuff like that. Yeah. All that's been outsourced. So, yes.
Oh, so the U.S. that's not produced
They don't
here?
really produce that here, no.
Okay, and I know that China has a grip on the rare
And remember,
earth.
what happened in 2011? Or was it 2012? When did it?
Well, I know what happened in 2011.
What happened in 2011? Yeah, what also happened was the destruction of the industry during that time.
Oh, what? How?
Yes. Yo, Chinese industry, Japanese industry, Chinese, that was a big giant, it destroyed everything. So all these factories were flooded. Also, they were building microchips and cameras and all this stuff like that.
Right.
All right. So that caused a big upset in the whole electronics industry. So it wasn't just Fukushima. Yeah, that's the biggest thing, but also everything got jacked up.
Right. I didn't even think about that because it was huge. The tsunami.
Yeah, that tsunami. Yeah, it destroyed a lot of factories.
Wow.
It set back a lot of people who were making microchips were put back because the tsunami destroyed their works.
Wow.
So they were trying to play catch up, but the technology has not slowed down. So they need these chips more than ever. And so when you got the shortage now, I just met a guy who used to sell cars. He said he had to stop selling cars because he was doing high-end cars and they can't make enough because they don't have the microchips.
Wow. Yes, yeah. I heard about that.
Yeah,
that there was a stall because it was a shortage of microchips.
Yeah, these chips, because remember, if you got a car now, say you bought a stupid German car, don't buy one. But if you do, or a Cadillac, God forbid, or some stuff like that. These things got computers that run the windows now.
I know.
Each tire, I mean, you don't have mechanical things. Your transmission is computer run now.
Wow.
It's a code. That's why if you have a problem with your transmission, they're gonna tell you come back. We're gonna reprogram it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's got like 10 gears and overdrive and all the stuff like that, and it's run by computers now. So when back in the day you had one ECU, electronic control unit, and it was like handling everything. Now you got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50.
Wow.
Remember, if you get a new car now, you don't have key. You don't have physical dials.
Wow.
Even your dashboard, it's all it's an LCD screen now.
That's crazy.
So you don't have a speedometer dial that goes up and down.
See, I haven't been in a new car.
I'm just saying they don't have that anymore. You don't have your radio, your what you call your radio is now your computer. It controls everything through this whole system now.
Wow.
So it looks like a radio, but it's really a computer that controls all these different mechanisms are running through.
Wow.
That's
crazy. And that's why the used car market is like escalating. Everybody's trying to get a used car.
Yeah, well, maybe not, because Carvana is just getting ready to go out of business. So the used car market is getting ready to flop too.
What's Carvana?
That's the place where Carvana was selling all these used cars.
Oh.
But they weren't making enough money to stay in business. So they're getting ready to flop.
How can they not be making enough money in a boom market?
Because they spent too much money and the people are not buying. Like, nobody got money for the average.
Oh, they broke everybody.
The average car, average new car is 45 grand.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not being made. They were jacking up the prices of the used cars they were buying.
Mm-hmm.
Carvana was buying used cars for high prices and flipping them for twice as much. They didn't care how much they paid. And they were IPO. They were public companies, so they were making money on people investing in them and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Come to find out, that's not a winning model. In fact, most of these companies that you think are doing great, they're not making any money. Twitter does not make money. Amazon was not really making money. They generate capital,
right?
But as far as making profit, their profit margins were very slim. Twitter, who's making money on? How you making money on Twitter?
I know. Even Elon, he's like, maybe we should charge.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they moved. That's why. I mean, look at the digital landscape the way it was 10 years ago versus today. You can't go on the New York Times and read what you want like you used to be on a website. You got to pay now.
Yeah.
Your 2 articles, you're gonna have to pay for the rest.
I know.
Because that there's no money in that business plan, that business system they used before. You can't make money giving stuff away.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. So yeah, nobody's buying the New York Times newspaper. Right?
Mm-hmm.
How many people? Last time you seen somebody with a newspaper in their hand or stopping at the newsstand? They were
never.
They were 75 years old.
Everybody's got their phone.
They were 75 years old. You saw them go to the newspaper.
Yeah, that's the last time I saw someone reading a paper.
Nobody's buying newspapers.
Right.
All right. People don't read like that anymore. So with the change of times, you got to change how you do business. So New York Times Digital is very convenient. You can go in there, you subscribe, and you get to read all the articles and stuff. That's the plan they're using now. You know what I'm saying? But I kind of lost track what I was talking about. What am I supposed to be going back to?
Well, but we were talking about microchips.
Oh that tsunami wiped out a whole big chunk of industry. Because remember, China makes everything.
And they have a stranglehold on the rare earth.
Oh, they do.
Yeah,
the rare earth minerals. The rare
earth minerals that they use to make phones and all of these things.
All right, yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's what I was talking about. How China got to be where it's at. So they destroyed your economy here. They took your jobs away. They turned you into a consumer-based service industry here in the United States of America and moved all the industry to China. All right, but this was a plan. All right. Your corporations decided to do this. All right. Your corporation, not your president. Nixon didn't do this. Nixon was sent to do that.
Right. Because he's just all the presidents are
exactly. Nixon was sent to do that because they were tired of you. All right. And all these rights you're screaming for and all this stuff you want to have. The world, this was a totally different place in the 1970s, 1960s.
Right.
All right. City college was free back then.
Right.
You didn't have to pay to go to city colleges in the 70s and the 60s. Please, they were dying to get you guys in there. You know what I'm saying? Nobody was going. All right. So tuition started kicking in the 80s, the 90s, then doubling, quadrupling. You know what I'm saying? Because they realized that by giving you all this free schooling and stuff like that, they had increased your expectations.
That's the word I was thinking. Exactly.
And we don't want you to have increased expectations. We want you to have diminished expectations.
Well, I think
that's how you control people.
Christine Lagarde, who
World Bank lady?
Yes, who
YMF,
she said years ago that, when they were talking about the Great Reset, quote unquote, that Europeans, and she basically could have said everybody, they're spoiled.
Yes, because of the social democracies that they have out there, where you get in France, I think you get like 5-6 weeks of vacation automatically. Your daycare is free in France. And a lot of your colleges are still free in Europe.
Right.
Your health care is socialized. That's national health care. So you're not paying out of pocket for a lot of doctors. Still, we're making house calls in France. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not a nurse. Doctors were making house calls in France in some parts of Europe to this day. You know what I mean? It's a whole different ball of wax out there. But that is expensive.
It is expensive, but I also wonder if is it that there's going to naturally be, because the West likes to just say poverty is just natural. It's just going to happen. But I think what they practice is fascism. And it's not natural to have such a striking imbalance where you have destitution. It's not just, you working day to day. It's destitution and it's planned that way.
That's the way Europe has always worked.
Right.
They've always done that. You think you've never heard of serfs? What do you think serfs were?
Yeah.
They were destitute.
Yeah.
They were working on the landowners. So you just called them knights and you called them lords and stuff like that. Same system. Except now they moved to what I call the plantation age in the 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
Like you call the industrial age, is really plantation age, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And now they moved to the factory age in the 1900s.
Mm.
All right. Late 1800s, 1900s. That's when you were real factories.
Yes, and that's what destroyed the South because they didn't make that transference.
Oh no, they had chicken factories.
I know, but they didn't. They didn't have what the North had.
No, the North. Yeah, that was the part of that was a big issue with the Civil War, the quote unquote Civil War.
Yeah,
because the North had made that transition to a different type of commerce, a different type of production. But so what? The North people still got to eat, though. You know what I'm saying? You still got to eat, even you got factories, right?
Yeah, that's true.
You went to that type. You still got to eat. So you still needed the farm systems.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They just don't need, like, even now, you still have a big agricultural system because people have to eat. Except there's no small farmers. You know what I'm saying? They're damn near micro farmers now.
Right.
All right. Because they bought all the land and they're running and if you got a farm, you still at the whim of the agricultural businesses.
That's
because they're setting the prices for everything.
Yeah.
Because they have so much power, they'll set the price.
Yeah, I watched a documentary about just how difficult it is to be an independent farmer, and they set it up. I know it's even 400 times harder if you're a Black independent farmer, but just in general, it
depends on your market.
How do you mean?
It depends on your market. A lot of these farmers are going with the big agriculture. No, they're making corn and soybean and things like that. That's these farmers are making. That's the only way they can make any money. They're gonna farm wheat, soybean, corn. That's subsidized. They're doing subsidized cropping. All right. So that's how, since they're going with that trend, they can survive. But they ain't gonna flourish. Why you think? Look at all these organic farmers out here. A lot of them are doing all right.
That's true. You're right.
Because, but it's going to be hard to maintain. But they're treating a market. You have to have a niche, whatever you do. So if you can, I think you can survive as a farmer out here.
Yeah.
If you really know what you're doing and you got a good marketing system, and you got a captive audience. Culture is what's going to make the economy. What's going to build your economy.
How do you mean that?
Culture. If you have a culture, then you have needs to be filled. We do this way. So everybody who does that this way has to eat, they have to sleep, they have to dress. You know what I'm saying? So now you have a market. So I'll take the nation, for example. They had a culture. They had a bean pie. They had a bean soup.
Oh, okay.
They had a bow tie. You know what I'm saying?
Right. They even had laundry detergent.
Sisters had a way they had to dress.
Right.
So somebody had to produce goods to fulfill the needs of that culture.
Right.
All right. So that's an economy right there.
Right.
So it's the same principle. When you have a culture, you have an economy to go with it to match the needs to the culture.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
I got you.
Yeah, that's why if you ever go, like, look at immigrant communities, they always have their own markets and stuff like that.
That's true.
Because they have a culture they got to meet. They're
right.
not being served.
You walk through their neighborhoods, it's very specialized, and you're like, what's that?
That's for us.
That's for us.
You don't know nothing about this.
You don't need to know.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. You don't know nothing about that. That's for us. That's how they do that.
Sorry. It's okay.
Yeah. So that's what you have to do. You have to define what your culture, you have to meet the needs of the culture that you're practicing. All right. American culture is just, fast food, football, sports.
Very shallow. Very shallow.
It's not. Yeah, it's shallow, but it's money. It generates income.
That's true. It is a culture.
That's what I'm talking about from the economic. It generates its own income.
Right. I want to say greetings to you, beloved Sweet Tea, and Sister Gwen B, and Raw Reality. How you doing, beloved? That's my husband. That's my king. He's more than my husband. That's just a term that as soon as you say it, it just falls flat. That's my king. Woo. Yeah. Let's see what you're saying, Sister Gwenby. I got a Subaru 4 years old. And Brother Raw Reality, the reason they are digitizing the cars is so they can track everyone's movements and what they're doing. That's so true. Because our son just bought his first used car and they sent in the mail from the insurance a little tracking device. And they made it seem so innocuous. Like,
it's okay. We're going to give you $50 off for putting this on your car.
Yeah.
Well, that's how they seduce you. Like, we'll give you a discount on your insurance if you keep this on your car.
Right.
So that way, if you track, we can track how many times you go over the speed limit. You know what I'm saying? If you went through a red light. Remember, this is tracking. If it's tracking, it's recording.
Right.
So now when I go sit down, you did this on that day. This is a red light. Come on, all this stuff is the red light cameras. All that stuff is on maps. So they know. I mean, they
know. It's exactly.
This is a joke. But anyway, they're gonna seduce you. Like, yo, you can save $50 a month insurance by using this. You know what I mean? But it's a trick bag.
Yeah.
But that's built into the car now. Exactly.
That's it. And that's why I know me, if I was buying a car, I would want used because I don't want those trackers.
So now if you, for example, if you have an accident in your car today, there's a black box in your car.
Yes.
It can determine, it'll let the people know how fast you were going, what direction you were going in. You know what I'm saying? How many miles we got, all that stuff.
And it'll line up if there's cameras in the area.
Exactly. So now they can determine like who's at fault. Or penalize you for being you are habitually drove over the speed limit. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever you do. You know what I mean? That's all this is about.
Yeah.
All right. And it's a way to make, also, you have to understand as far as the car industry, it's good that you put Elon Musk and Apple together because it's really the same business model. All right. They want to make the car as disposable as a cell phone.
That's crazy.
That's the key. The Tesla is designed to be as disposable as a cell phone. The Tesla will sell you subscriptions to certain features, and they can cut them on and off if you don't pay. You want the insane speed, you got to pay for that. That's a feature we turn on and off. Autopilot, that's a feature we turn on and off if you pay the subscription fee. All right. So the Tesla has, if you ever look inside of a Tesla, it's just got a big giant iPad in the middle of the car.
What?
It's got a steering wheel and it's got an iPad.
Wow.
They call it an LCD screen. We know it's just a damn iPad.
How can you maneuver this thing? It's a touch screen, right?
It's a touch screen. Yeah, it's the most dangerous thing in the world to use.
I know.
How can you drive a car with a touch screen? Does that make any sense? So the safety is not even but the key is it makes it an appliance and it makes it cheaper to build, but they're still going to charge you twice as much for the parts. You know what I'm saying? It's cheaper for them to build a car that way because they ain't got no real mechanical gauges.
Right.
So there's not a lot of little stuff to do. They can like pop it all together, run the wires to the iPad, plug the iPad out. It's going to connect all the computers and blah blah. Boom, you good. It's cheaper to do it that way. But they're not that cheap. But that inexpensive, but that low cost is not being passed on to you by any fashion.
And if it needs repair, it costs almost as much as the car itself to
because
repair
the battery alone
thing.
for a Tesla Model X, probably the battery might be about 10, 20 grand for a battery.
Wow.
When the battery goes bad, fenders and stuff. You can only go to Tesla certified repair shops.
Right.
So your boy on the corner can't work on a Tesla.
They
and trust me,
whole thing out,
me, nobody knows how to fix these things.
Oh.
All right? Forget it.
Peace.
Nobody knows how to fix this stuff. They're just fooling you. I mean, they'll put the scanner on it and they'll say, oh, this, that, and other thing. But they're really made to be tossed.
That's crazy. And with all the people, and they're slowly legislating so that you'll have no choice for them. Everything has to be an electric vehicle. When you know that that's a racket because it makes absolutely no daggone sense. They're saying they want to do it for the greening, decrease the carbon footprint.
That's impossible.
But you're going to be getting rid of these batteries. These lithium batteries, which are absolutely toxic.
How much carbon footprint does it cost to charge these batteries?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's going to cost more. Gas is first, they've made gas inefficient by adding the ethanol, which is corn, corn alcohol. They
Mhm.
added 15% to every gallon of gas.
Why'd they do that?
That's a subsidy for the car. For a car, that's another subsidy for the corn farmers.
Oh.
All right. So they can make this, and they can take this corn and use it for. It's not even efficient. You basically losing 15% of your BTUs by putting it in a gallon of gas. It's not saving anything.
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
So it's like I said, that's pork. They put in the bill, it's pork for the farm industry.
Right.
All right. So you can get so much power. If you can get 25 miles out of a gallon of gas, that is very, very efficient. Electric cars are not efficient power-wise. They're heavy. They're heavier than electric cars are heavier than gas cars because they have to carry all these damn batteries around.
So that makes them more dangerous.
That makes them less efficient. You know what I'm saying? They're hazardous because, as you see, they burn, then they recombust, and they recombust, and they recombust. They can burn for hours or days.
Yeah, I heard even with the Florida flooding from the hurricane that for the battery to get wet, they were exploding. They were exploding. After that, they dried out. It didn't correct itself.
No, but exactly, especially down there, there's salt water.
Salt water, right.
Salt and water. Water and batteries don't mix. So add salt to it. That's gonna increase the rate of decay even higher. 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 times. Right? Corrosion.
Right.
That thing is a walking explosion. Rolling explosion.
So going with Elon Musk in China, it turns out that the Foxconn, that's with Apple. Apple's shares are starting to go down and they're losing money because Foxconn is going down. So they are agreeing with all the draconian tyrannical measures going on in China.
Of course.
And
they agree with them here.
Yeah, but I know, right? And Elon Musk also is going along with this, where he's trying to, I'm this dashing playboy, maverick, and I believe in free speech. Look, I'm buying Twitter, and I'm even bringing in the kitchen sink.
Ye's back. Ye's back on Twitter.
Yeah, Ye's back on
Ye's
Twitter.
Out.
Ye's out. No, he's back again. He likes Hitler.
No. He's out.
But at the same time, it's like if you see what's going on, where they're going along with China, which is their babies starving to death and dying, people who are just being, separated from their families. The whole ridiculous migration up from South America is now just going on full force in China, and these dudes are saying not a damn word.
South America to China?
Well, not to China, but up to the US, remember, with the border thing. Crisis.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tesla, his sales in China actually are greater than the Chinese-made electric vehicle. And so that's a level of profit. That's what keeps him profitable. He doesn't want to give up. So he's been bowing down to everything that's going. He's been saying, Chinese, the CCP just wants your, safety and freedom.
They will make his cars cheap, make him make more money because they'll make the cars cheaper for him over there. He has plants in the United States, and he has a lot of problems in these plants in the United States. He's constantly cutting back staff and trying to cut how much they get. You know what I'm saying? It's expensive to make stuff out here. All right. So he's looking at China as an opportunity to make his products even cheaper and making more money.
So
he don't make money selling cars. That's the secret.
I know. Right.
He makes money selling green credits.
Yes. Oh my God.
He don't make money selling cars.
Wow.
He makes money getting these carbon credits from GM and Ford and Chrysler and Honda and Toyota. If Honda and Toyota made electric cars, Tesla would be out of business easily because they'll make them. Toyota make them right.
So the part of this that I just find so consistently awful is these dudes will create a narrative that they're wonderful. White man's just it's better over here in the West. Look, you could be in China. But at the same time, they supporting China. I mean, what was it? Xi Jinping was in the G7 or whatever, G20 with the Canadian Premier Trudeau and punked them out, punked him out.
Yeah.
And so now Canada, trying to, like resurrect the reputation of its like balls, is coming out as if they're all against China and what it's doing. And it's been doing it for a while. But that was because that Xi Jinping punked out Trudeau. And he said, this man is very naive. And it was caught on camera. And I'm sure it wasn't an accident that it was caught on camera, because the satanic elites, the guys who own the world banks, they ultimately control everything.
Yeah.
And they're going to look at China as a success. They're going to say, look at how they can control their population. Whereas over here, the whole lockdown thing was a lose-lose for the West, where they lost control of the narrative, despite them trying to do the big-time censorship. Still, people said, we're not falling for it. There were plenty who did. They got all these black politicians, like you said, who were pathetic.
Negro rubber stamping.
Oh my God. They didn't say a word of protest.
What you expect from a Greek?
I know, exactly. It's like, I ain't asking no questions. I'm just going to roll up my sleeve.
And no disrespect to citizens of the country of Greece. But these frat boys, these Greeks we got out here, they frat boys.
Oh my God, yes.
And frat girls with sorrows, and they all compromised, bro. Obviously. Look at all your politicians are frat people. Or boule. Or
right.
Actually, you gotta be in the frat before you even get in the boule. So they all frat people. They all boule or want to be boule. It want to advise Europeans on how to deal with Negroes because we got it. They all baby fascists. Look at
I've
what they
met some of them.
I'm not even extreme now because I can show you what they did. You can look at what they did over the 2 years. You know they're fascists.
Right. What did they do? Please.
I mean, the whole lockdown thing they were implementing on their black in these black cities. They were harder in the black cities than they were in the white cities.
Yes, they were, and they were steadily promoting the idea that this affects black people because they wanted us locked down.
They following the script. They following the script, and they have no answers to any problems, so they just gonna acquiesce. Because quiet is kept. They don't know nothing. But what the Europeans tell them. All their political policies come from Europeans.
Right.
Either the left wing or the right wing. They have no independent policies.
See, now this is where it dovetails into Fukushima. Because they are now promoting this ad nauseum with the sudden death narrative that, was it the jab? And I'm looking and I'm saying that's why they needed to get like 100% inoculation in order to couch the die-off, because they're shipping in all the food from Fukushima. They're not even going to send out any alerts. And so that inevitably is going to cause massive carnage in the human population. So that's how they explain it away, because on the other hand, there's cures for radiation. There's none for believing the narrative, the lies of these people who want to hide what they've done so that you don't think, there's some other issue going on here, where you don't say to yourself, all these creatures that have died that weren't human didn't pony up to the doctor to get jabbed for a damn thing. So that's why they needed to get, we need to get those numbers up 100%. Whereas the black population, percentage-wise, we went up and got that, pokey, jabba less than any other demographic in the entire United States. And there are plenty of people, white people, Asian people also, who said, hell no. So that's what I'm saying. The whole thing is it's a massive orchestration.
Yes, what you're dealing with in China, what you just dealt with the United States, Australia. I mean, Asia, these people, they don't like it. Asians obviously don't like themselves.
Yeah, they
definitely don't like this because they lock down each other on the drop. No problem. You know what I'm saying? They ain't got no respect for the masses of their own people.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But what you're dealing with is no control. It's just a means of control because all these people are. You have to be able to control people to stay in power. You gotta be able to control people. You gotta be able to steer people. You gotta herd cow to slaughter them.
And that's the way
You know
they
what I'm saying?
see us.
That's what you're doing. You just cow. You just goy them. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're just gonna goy them. You just cattle, and you herd cattle. You don't reason with cattle. You don't explain cattle. What are we doing here? Well, let me explain the significance of. You don't do that to cattle. You just herd them. Right. You steer them. They use TV to steer you. They use these talking heads on social media to steer you and guide you, and they use Obama to guide you.
And Yi with the latest thing where it's like it's so ridiculous for him to get on a platform and say what he loves Hitler or something. It's like, what? Are you serious?
Like, it's like, come on, man. First of all, if you're looking for leadership, you've already lost the battle. You know what I'm saying? You have to awaken the leader within. Right. You got to find somebody. The only people you should be talking to, people's going to help you unlock the leader within you. Right. All right. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Then we can get together and work together and make some changes. But as far as, like I said, the day of one person ruling everybody and making all decisions and all
that's too compromised.
That don't make any sense. That's how you control people.
Right.
That's a method of control. They call that the Messiah complex. Black folks got the Messiah complex. Always waiting for one person to come and save them and resurrect them. And dude, that's dead now. Right. It's time for you to stand up and take charge of your own destiny. All right. The information is out there. We have people that's already working on that aspect of it and sharing stuff to free you from being ruled by anybody, except those that you elect based on your knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the political process, your rights, and what has to be done.
And that's why a righteous, or at least our nation, which creates a structure. That's what's taken the West so long to get all of this done, because they created a structure to fool the people that they needed for a little while. And now to subvert that structure, it takes time.
Yes.
And so when you have a nation that is not established on taking advantage of whole populations, but on actually promoting, justice and fair economies, and then that structure itself can help protect us from the couple crazies who inevitably are going to show up.
Yeah.
It's not like we're perfect.
You have to have a code. All right. Anybody not on code sticks out like a sore thumb. You have to know the code, though. See, the United States government has a whole litany of laws and rules and statutes. They're producing them constantly. All right. The city council is producing them. The state council is producing them. The federal council they're constantly producing laws and statutes and codes. Yeah. But they're never telling you what they are. All right. So that means that you can go around and being victim of some type of jurisdiction that you have no knowledge of, but you still are a victim of. You still are being susceptible to it because you exist here and you have no independent jurisdiction of your own. Right. See, they're making this stuff to control you. That way, literally, I guarantee 90% of what people do every day is illegal in some part of the country. And I'm not talking about larceny and stuff. I'm just talking about, you know what I'm saying, crossing the street and not at a crosswalk.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Driving and you don't have your seatbelt on, or have a child that's underweight in the front seat. Like this, literally, they have legislated every aspect of your reality.
Right.
And even though they don't enforce it, they have it so that they can enforce it at any given time.
And selectively.
Exactly, to control your goings about.
Right.
That's what all this is about. This is a straitjacket they're putting you in.
China does that with corruption. Everybody in China is corrupt. You cannot move up the ladder unless you're corrupt.
But it's illegal.
But that it's illegal so that whenever they want to take down, they don't have to kill you. They just put you up for charges of corruption.
Everybody else is doing it, and they can kill you, lock you up.
Yeah, and they'll give certain leaders
they make it so that you can't even operate without breaking these rules.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
because because they want to make you liable to them.
Yeah.
It's like they want to make you controllable. Because we know what you have to do to make this job work. Not 80% of what you did to make the job work is illegal, but it's okay. People are expendable in every country. All right? That's part of government. Government has to account for how many expendable people they have.
Right.
All right? That expendable people in the United States government has expendable people here too. All right? China, Africa, every government has people they consider expendable.
That's a damn shame.
That's the problem.
Mm.
That's the problem. All right? Because there's big I's and little U's. We have to get this done, and there's a certain amount of collateral damage that's going to happen for this to get done.
Right.
All right? So for us to build this, I mean, even something as simple as building a mall. How many people do we have to displace? How many animals do we have to displace? You know what I'm saying? What's that going to do to the environment?
Right.
How the fumes going to affect? Yo, think about that.
Right.
You build a mall, unless it's in the middle, even if it's in the middle of nowhere, it's environmental impact. Because cars are going to be coming now. So that means it's going to increase the carbon footprint, carbon in the air. You know what I'm saying? The waste that's in the air. So it's going to destroy the environment that way. Right. That's going to have effect on what grows there. That's going to have an effect what lives there. All right. There's a certain amount of expense. All right. But they know this stuff. But they don't care because it's just you. And it's not them. Their children. It's not their children they're concerned about. Their children are not going to be displaced. You are.
Right.
Every major city, like in New York, if they build a highway, they got to decide whose neighborhood they're going to build that highway through. Whose neighborhood they're going to destroy to build the highway. Usually it's the hood. Oh, hood's out.
We need a giant stadium here.
Exactly. Not only will they, like I said, they'll happily kill millions. And they'll spend millions of your dollars to make $1 for themselves.
Yes, I heard that in Qatar, building the stadiums. First off, it was the Chinese that built the stadiums, and even though they didn't have a soccer team there, but over 1,000 workers were killed building these daggone stadiums.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, in this modern, so-called modern age where everybody is supposed to be, understand, oh, you're a human being. You're a human being. As if back in the past, people had no full comprehension of the humanity of those next to them. I'm like through with that. They've always known.
This is how it's done.
Exactly.
Progress has a cost. And it's usually life.
They're just using the distractions so that we, common people, don't notice the grand scheme of things. And this is something where, for me, I'm like looking at what we're concentrating on, and those platforms, especially like the huge ones, who are talking about nonsense. Nothing. Because if we understand the full scope of what's going on, then we know we have no other choice. We have to get prepared. That's why let me shout out brother Naya 713, his channel, because his was the first place that I saw something on those lethal robots. And I'm just like, you know what? I don't want to just give the, breaking, they're going to have lethal robots. I wanted to give some type of defensive plan, because this is they're like at the point where they're like, okay, we use the people as much as we can, and that's why they got the Georgia Guidestones up there, because that's the next part of it. China, Iraq, wherever, they're like, we're done pretending that we're kind and fuzzy. You dudes are on the sites. So we've got to have a plan. Otherwise, you and me listening to all of this, we're the ones that my king was saying, we're out. We're the cannon fodder or whatever the heck. So we have to put out the warning, have plans, because so many of our people are just beguiled. And we think of these things as, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. As soon as I hear anybody say that, I know I'm dealing with a 3-year-old.
Yes, and conspiracy is no theory. All right.
Exactly.
Conspiracy is one of the most prosecuted crimes in the United States court system. Go to court, see how many people get charged with conspiracy, and see how many, and go to jail, see how many people are convicted of conspiracy every year, every day in the United States of America.
The RICO laws.
Oh, that's another thing. But that's conspiracy is a big part of the RICO laws. That's how they rob. That's how they gather everybody up. All right. Conspiracy is a real charge. It's a real thing. All right. They use that term to just kind of like, it's a cold term, to turn your brain off. But trust me, they will convict your ass. They will try your ass for conspiracy every chance they get. All right. But who's going to try them for conspiracy? That's what they figure. You ain't going to try us, though.
That's right. That's
See?
right.
You can say it, but how are you going to prove? How are you going to penalize us for this conspiracy? If you can't penalize us for a conspiracy, it's like there's no conspiracy at all, as far as they're concerned.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
You got to be able to penalize somebody. If you can't penalize nobody, then you don't have no control. Being in control demands that you have ability to enforce that and penalize those that are out of control.
Right.
Else you have no control.
Right.
Unfortunately, there's two sides to everything, right? And nation, like I mean, we're talking about China and all these, but nation building is dirty work. Nation building is dirty work. Sorry, that's just really what it comes down to. You think all these white folks and Europeans, Asian cats, they learned all this stuff just by trial, and they watched.
Oh yeah,
because we had to do a lot of this stuff. Right? They watched us. We had to do a lot of this stuff.
Right.
Sorry.
Wow.
If you're the original man, you got to take responsibility for everything. You think they just came up and started something new?
Right.
Oh, we gonna start something brand new. The devil can't start nothing new. He's a copy of a copy of. He can't start nothing new. It ain't in his genetic makeup. He can only take what's already there and exploit it. You know what I'm saying? That's what he does. He takes what's already in existence and exploits it for his own good, or perverts it, more likely. All right. So we have a good system. We have a system of you call it democracy, but we had republics and we had organizations. We had constitutions. All right. That's where he got the ideas of these constitutions from. The indigenous people, because we had civilization.
Right.
All right.
But the core of it wasn't based on just uncheckable avarice, greed.
Not most of it, not ideas. No, it wasn't.
Not to the
but it can be. Let's say anything can be perverted.
Yeah,
that's the point. That's why you need an intelligent, educated populace. So that stems the perversion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Since you don't know the Constitution, you don't know the Bill of Rights, you don't know what's going on in your Congress, you don't know what laws are being passed, you don't know none of this stuff. You're easily exploitable.
That makes me think of the propaganda.
Yeah.
Because all my childhood, you learned about how awful the propaganda was in China. But now you can't find any entertainment that's wholesome, that's produced in the West, and it's filled with sage wisdom. You can't find it. So how is that not continuous propaganda? And then when I talk to people through social media, they're all like, oh, Sister Ajali, you don't understand. It's just so hard out here. Everybody's just full of crap. They're, corrupt or whatever. So that propaganda is working. It's working overtime on a sense of defeat.
True. Everybody is corrupt. Yeah, it is.
I don't think I know.
I'm just saying, a lot of people are corrupt.
I mean, a lot of, but corrupt. Not everybody. You have to have some guidance that makes you yearn and reach for better. I can tell the difference in the timbre of people's voices, but we also have always lived in the belly of the beast. And so corruption it's not like it's a new thing for this era. But I'm just saying, in terms of the propaganda is overwhelming now. Where I'm enjoying the Netflix show Wednesday. But at the same time, I'm looking at this, I'm like, this is
cultural. It's cultural colonialism.
It's satanic. It's Satanism. And on top of that, they need to insert themselves into Aboriginal history so that they can say, well, see, we have a little bit of Indian in us.
Mm.
And so we're the ones who are being exploited. We're the ones who are being, because I was just like, how did the Addams family suddenly they're native Indians or something? They're the native population going back. And it's a blonde-haired girl.
Yeah, don't get me started.
Who looks like Wednesday Addams. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So I'm seeing all, and they've got, Lucifer shows on. They've got, the witchery thing when I was little was like, oh, Bewitched. It was cute.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's just straight up do whatever the hell you want. They got, what's his name? The rapper, Lil Nas, where you would go to YouTube and look up baby videos, and there he would be looking butt naked twerking. I'm just like, what? And Sister Gwen B shared with me that they got rampant pornography up on YouTube.
It's all Twitter's a porno site.
I'm like, what?
Twitter is pornography.
That's incredible.
When they closed down, when Tumblr try to close down all that porn because they were being sold to Verizon. Oh. That's what happened. Tumblr got sold. Tumblr was owned by Yahoo. All right. Yahoo bought Tumblr. They was dumb. They shouldn't have bought it. Yahoo's stupid. Once upon a time there was this company called Yahoo that was actually doing stuff.
Wow.
All right. And they were buying all these stupid little things but they bought Tumblr because Tumblr was the wild, wild west of the internet. Like you post whatever you want, anything wild and profane, you go to Tumblr and get it.
Wow.
It was posted up there. Think about it. Ludicrous, wild, profane, bestiality, rape, and all that.
Wow.
Tumblr had all of that stuff.
Wow.
But they had to clean up Tumblr to sell it.
Oh.
To Verizon. Oh no, Verizon bought it. It wasn't that. Verizon bought it from Yahoo. Verizon bought all of Yahoo, actually. Verizon bought Yahoo and they had Tumblr in there too. So Verizon tried to clean up Tumblr because they wanted to flip that. So that's when they went on attack. That's when they destroyed the porn industry in Tumblr. Mm-hmm. All them cats just moved into Twitter. All the porno people on Yahoo moved to Twitter. Where they're live and thriving right now.
What about on TikTok too?
Nah, TikTok doesn't. Not that I know. I don't know what's going on TikTok.
Okay, I know that China owns it, and they got the libtards up there.
Yeah, well, TikTok in China is not the TikTok they have here.
Yeah, no. In China, it's all like it's so state controlled. It's ridiculous, but at the same
it's
time,
about literacy and education.
Yes, it's all encouraging, But at the same time, it's encouraging you to go along with a tyrant.
Yes.
But at the same time, that's the one thing that I do like. I don't like communism. I don't like the CCP, but that one feature, because the devil's always going to have one thing he does that seems right, is that this entreatment to debauchery must be thwarted. It must be called out as unsustainable for human civilization. It is a method used to take over, destroy the family hub as the root of civilization. Mm-hmm. And so that's the one thing that they do. So TikTok over there, it's a totally different thing. But over here, they know they want to destroy the Western family.
Let them have it.
So they're like down for, sure, we're going to encourage you to think that you could, two hairy butts can get together and there's some alternative life in there.
Yeah, they don't play that in other parts of the country. Absolutely not. But it's important that when you look at China, you understand that China is just a roadmap for what they want to happen all over the planet.
Damn right.
That's the key. Right. China is a roadmap. Oh, try it there. Whenever you want to do something, you got to test it somewhere first. All right. So it's like, I remember they were talking about opening. They were talking about doing the COVID test. They were going to open up a lab, and they were going to go to Africa and test the vaccines. The COVID vaccine, remember that?
I think I remember.
And everybody got in an uproar. Oh my God, they're going to go to Africa.
Oh, right.
Nigga, they've been testing in Africa.
Yes, they have.
What, you think they mentioned that because this is the first time they did that? No, that's because what they do. All right. They just mentioned that. That was just.
Yeah, they were just
it was just a slip of the. That's just common knowledge for them that all our testing goes on here.
Sometimes I think they say stuff just because they want to see, well, how's the public going to
knew,
take it?
Bill Gates have been doing testing.
Right.
Well,
yes,
sponsoring lab testing in Africa for 10, 15 years already.
He's got warrants out on him. In certain African countries.
Yeah, Pfizer's been destroying lives. Pfizer's been destroying lives in Africa. What's the other one? Moderna. Moderna, I don't think they were there yet. Moderna's a newer company.
Yeah, they're newer.
Pfizer, Philip Glaxo, Bayer. Come on, where do you think they test their stuff at? They find some poor part of the planet where they can find some corrupt politician to pay.
Yeah.
And let them come in and do what they want to do.
Right.
As long as they get in their pockets laced and they can go to Riviera once a year with their wife or their girlfriend.
Or send their children to a European school.
Yeah, that's all they want.
Yeah,
so that was going on there. So remember, testing ground. Everything you see, this is a test. This is only a test of the emergency control system.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, why didn't they go to war against China over Wuhan? If that's supposed to be,
because the National Institute of Health was in control of that lab. That's the National Institute of Health. That's Fauci's lab.
Oh, there you go.
Fauci's in charge of the National Institute of Health. National Institute of Health was in charge of the Wuhan lab.
Wow.
But they were testing coronavirus testing.
Right.
That's why they didn't go after China.
Ain't that something? That right there lets you know it's all collaborative. It's just they're going to jockey for
it's a collaboration.
Ultimate power. Like if China's that, I guess that's why he was laughing at Trudeau, because he's just like, no, you don't understand. I'm the one that has the successful model, and in one of those China revealing channels I watched, even the narrator said China is considered successful because they're implementing the new world order.
Like these policies that they want to see, like Trudeau should know, because Trudeau is a young global leader. He's part of he's a WEF stooge. His father was a world government stooge. All right, so he knows. He's not naive. He's part of the program.
Right.
Look at what happened. Look what happened in Canada. Were you paying attention?
No, what happened?
We look at the lockdowns and all those. That was Trudeau implementing all that stuff.
Right, and they were crazy in Canada.
I'm bugging because everybody act like they didn't pay attention to what was going on these last 3 years, and I'm like, fuck. Did you see what the hell we were just going through?
My God, right.
It's like Gil Scott Harris said, people suffer from amnesia. They can't remember what happened yesterday. Like, dude.
Right.
Yes, he's a young global leader of the World Economic Forum. It's called the Young Global Leaders Group. Elon Musk is a young global leader. Your boy, what's his name? The actor. Not the actor. The young boy that did the Wolf of Wall Street. He's a young global leader. DiCaprio's a young global leader.
Right.
Look up the young global leaders.
Right.
I bet Lupe must be a young global leader because he was down. They going on.
Damn, was he down?
They got indigenous young global leaders.
Really?
Oh yeah. Everybody think they go to UN. They think the World Economic Forum is some haven for the new way we're going to include new inclusive way of running the world.
And it ain't nothing but a scam.
Yeah. It's nothing but a scam. But I'm saying, but they got all these different. They have all this diverse group of people. See, culture is where it's at. You know what I'm saying? So if you go to the WEF, you got Black folks, Indian folks, cats from every country in the world, all representing the same agenda. All right. So obviously, diversity is dependent upon you agreeing with us. All right. They don't want diversity of opinion. They want diversity of colors. They don't want diversity of opinion. Everybody has to agree for us to make this thing work. All right? So that's what you're dealing with. That's the diversity they're talking about.
Ooh, I love that. That's deep. They don't want diversity. They want diversity of color, not opinion.
No, there's no diversity in their opinions. So they're all going to get together and agree and support the agreement. That's what they want. The same thing in the corporations.
Right.
They preach diversity, but they really just want make it to look like it's diverse.
Right.
But there's no diversity. If you got a different idea, you're going to be out.
That's right. Because they shut down how many genuine small businesses with all of this mess.
Absolutely. Well, I'm talking about black empowerment, closing black businesses. Like, you niggas is crazy.
And whereas Costco was open.
Oh, yes. Yes, because the national, exactly. So the corporations can stay open. The national corporation, Best Buy, Costco, Target, all these guys were doing bang up business. But your little corner store, you had to close. All right. You got to get a PPP loan. In other words, we got to put you in debt now.
Right.
And you got to report all your income so we can give you a loan. So we can have a keep tabs on you. All right. Oh man, it's yo.
I mean,
we literally, it's like, yo,
diabolical.
It's like I got to do a whole class on explaining to you what the hell you just experienced, because nobody knows what the hell they just experienced.
Right.
You weren't even paying attention what you were experiencing. You know what I mean? It's like I got to do a whole class on that. This is what you went through for the last 3 years, and you didn't notice.
It was like everybody's in an elevator that's just free falling, and everything we went through is each floor that we're just falling past.
Yeah, but nobody notices. Now we're trying to start like, now you think you're going to jump up here and act like nothing's changed.
Right.
When a lot of things have changed, and they're never going to respond the same way again, because it was a test. And we know how you're going to respond to this, and you know how you're going to respond to that. So if you didn't understand it was a test, and you're not doing the things to prepare yourself not to fail the test next time, you're going to fail again. All right? You have to study the curriculum to pass the test.
That's true. That's true.
You just got a whole curriculum of Negroes and coons and liars, and they gave you the whole. They done taught you a doctorate. They gave you a doctorate degree on how to deal with the beast, but you didn't pay attention. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We done told you how we're gonna come at you, what methodology we're gonna use, where we're gonna attack you first. They gave you all of that. It revealed their whole hand.
Yeah.
Know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they told you who worked, and they showed you who works for them.
Yes. That is one of the things that I love about this time, because you don't have to call anybody out. They are going to reveal which side they're on.
Everybody showed
everybody.
And we know that everybody you thought was smart end up being stupid. Most of these cats don't know what the hell they talking about.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? That means, they'll talk about the crisis of the Negro intellectual. Oh my God. You have no Negro intellect. You have no intellectuals.
Not on the places we would expect them to be.
Not in the national platform. You have nobody.
None.
You know what I'm saying? They all failed the test. Or they were not available for comment. You know what I'm saying? These cats were not even available for comment to give any guidance. Think about that.
Right.
Your ministers were not available to give you any guidance.
Right. Even the ministers. And you would think they were independent.
Yeah, they shut down. They closed up shop and went home too.
I know. I would see pictures of church meetings, and everybody was masked up. I was like, oh my God.
When they opened up the church again.
Yeah, when they finally
churches
opened
were
up.
Closed.
Yeah, and they had very few people in the pews because then
the good thing is that
people
find out that they don't need them. So that's why the churches are empty now.
Right.
Like we said, that's why TD Jakes is talking about is turning to Kevin Samuels. Because ain't nobody in the church.
Right.
Because they realized they would spend all that money and spend all that time there, and when they needed them, nobody was fucking around. Nobody was around. Them cats wasn't available for comment.
Right.
So now we gotta get a whole new crop of dumb people. That's why let me stop.
Yeah.
This is crazy, man. This is crazy what's going on here. I don't want to get you jammed up.
Yeah, peace. Brother Daryl, I feel it's good to see you. And Sister Malarkey 5. How you doing?
But yeah, we can like I said, that's just explanation. It's all about solutions now. All right. And part of our solutions is actually we're gonna have our health class tomorrow morning, Restoring Black Health. It's a free class
on 25,000yearcycle.net.
Yeah, so go to the website. Matter of fact, let's go to the website.
Okay. I just
open up the website so they can see.
You got it.
Yeah, you're gonna go to the website, and you're gonna go to the events.
Oh wait, I just put that up here. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're just gonna go to the website. It's gonna pop up. That's pretty fast, actually. Yeah, you're gonna scroll down to upcoming events, Restoring Black Health. You're gonna click on.
Oh, 13. That's a beautiful thing.
Go up.
What? You mean go up? I just hit.
And, all right. And you're gonna hit the RSVP link, and you're gonna just all you need is an email address, I think. Name and email. And you can come into the class because I'm not doing a YouTube class. It's gonna be on Zoom.
Oh, I love that.
All right. And we're gonna talk about you getting yourself back together. Because we're suffering from bad thinking because we're not eating right.
Wait, I wonder if I think I stopped sharing the screen. So let me go over here. Oh no, I am sharing the screen. Goody for me.
Yeah, so you need to take this class tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Restoring Black Health. It's a free class.
Oh, and the last one. The last one was so
this one's going to be better.
Powerful.
Don't worry about it. This one's going to be better.
Okay.
It's just going to get better and better. We don't go back.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You don't go back. This one's going to be popping. This one's going to be popping too.
Yeah.
All right.
And that's the whole thing is that there is rescue, that we will be in the midst of ill health and not even recognize that is not inevitable. We just keep living in
you're used to being this. You're used to be not operating at 100% because you never operated at 100%. Because most of us never ate right. So we were never operating at 100%. And you weren't even born operating at 100% because your parents' health was compromised.
Right. You're so right.
So you came out at a deficit.
Yes.
So now how do we restore Black health? That's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. We got to make up for the deficit. Else you got no future. Let's keep it real. Not no independent future. You don't have no independent future until you work on your health. There's no independent future for you.
Yes. Especially now.
Not at all. Because people don't understand that how important health is to the life of the nation. All right. The United States of America is suffering right now because people are sick. Now, it generates a lot of money for the medical industry, but it destroys production. Jobs, even if you're in the service industry, how many people are out sick? Can't work properly.
The United States uses the most psychotropic medication. That's just it. Overall, they use more medication in the United States than any other nation.
But I'm looking at it from a manpower issue. There's nobody work. You can't work if you're sick.
Right.
You can't cover your shifts if you're sick. Disease. Everybody got an aspirin in their purse. Everybody got a pill, you know what I'm saying? And nobody's healthy.
Medicine
cabinet. You're going to the gym more. Everybody's filling up the gyms, but nobody's healthy.
Right.
So we're going to the gyms. We got the medication. We got TV. We got all the information, but nobody's healthy. Because first of all, your health practitioner, even your holistic health practitioner, don't know what they're talking about half the time. All right. Yeah. A lot of them don't know they don't know how to work on this Black body. See? Because all the training is geared towards working with the European body. The non-melanated body is different.
Right.
You are different at a genetic level. All right. So that's what this class is about. We're going to help you. We're going to go from the root, or we're going to go down to the root in the dirt and build and try to build a better tree. Build a better Black. Build Black better.
Yeah.
Build Black better. Yeah, tomorrow. Sign up. It's 11 o'clock. Sign up. We'll send you the link about an hour before the class start, and you'll be good to go.
Yeah.
All right. If you act up, we kick you out of class. Don't worry about it. Ain't nobody gonna be acting up.
It was it was so beautiful.
I'm quick on the block. I quick to kick you out.
Yeah, my king don't play, that's for sure.
You know what I'm saying? But it's all good. Sure. But it's a private meeting. We're gonna talk it's a family meeting though. So we're gonna get together and we're gonna talk about this thing and start this journey. Because we're all on a journey.
Yeah.
All right. If you're young, it's even better because now you can get a good start. If you're older, we can help curtail some of the damage that you've done to yourself.
Right.
If you're young, you can get a head start. And if you're older, then maybe we can stop the damage. It's a win-win situation, no matter where you're at.
Exactly. It's because
Huh?
I didn't start until my mid 40s.
Mhm.
And now I feel, I mean, phenomenal. I'm
Yeah.
just like when I hear people act as if, you know, being in the later stage of life is supposed to be an inevitable decline. I'm
Mhm.
like, what a lie. What an incredible lie. You can have so much vitality
Yeah.
and you could be in the later stage of your life.
Yeah. But yo, we're gonna have to bounce because we gotta break this fast.
Okay,
We gotta do
yeah.
this prayer.
We haven't
Break this
eaten.
fast.
All right. Oh, love you so much, family. Thank you for coming on in. I know this was spur of the moment, but it just it had
Perspective from
something had
James
to be
Bond.
said.
Yeah.
The world, that's good. That's
Yeah.
true. That's true. So peace and blessings, everybody. We love you. Straight Black family.
Yeah. Sign up for the
pride.
class, fam.
Sign up for the class, and
Tomorrow
we'll see
morning.
you tomorrow morning.
Peace.
Peace.